and welcome back to another video. So because on Saturday's video you guys would have saw the sketchbook tour, we are now going to be starting our new sketchbook today since it is Monday, and I do like delegating kind of like Monday to being kind of the sketchbook day of the week. Did you guys make predictions on which sketchbook that I was going to be picking for today? I think I gave you guys 3 options in particular, and to some of you guys it might have been very obvious on which one I was going to be picking, because I think this is like from the last batch from the sketchbook, even before the one that you guys saw on Saturday. But if you guys don't want spoilers, or if you haven't watched the sketchbook tour, feel free to watch that. But if not, we are going to be starting off with our new sketchbook. So in this case, it is one of my notebooks that I designed. So this is my Forget Me Not notebook. It is a blank notebook. It's about like, I think just shy of A5. It's a little bit thinner, but it's like one of my favorites. Here's the spine. So just little flowers here, my logo at the bottom. But yeah, this is the notebook, because I'm biased towards this color palette in general. I love the color blue a lot, so I was really drawn to this one, and I knew that I was gonna pick this pretty much from the get-go. So I'm not even gonna pretend and tell you guys that I haven't started the sketchbook. I technically have. I even counted the spine to count the signatures, basically to find the halfway point, because I like to mark that off like right off the bat. But yeah, here's a look at the sketchbook, or our notebook here. And the reason why I keep calling it a notebook is because it actually is a notebook. It is not a sketchbook. It has normal kind of like notebook paper, fairly smooth, slightly off-white, but very thin paper. So it's not the same as like mixed media or cardstock or some sort of drawing paper. But for me, it works quite well and has like a lot of pages to work with. So upon opening, let me not show you guys the front cover quite yet, since I've already have it sketched out. On kind of like our first page, technically, in the sketchbook itself rather than the inside of here, I actually already went ahead and did some sketches of what I wanted to do for kind of like our theme for our intro page, our outro page, and I didn't plan a halfway page because I don't know if I'll remember by the time I hit that point, but maybe we'll plan it at some point. In terms of what I wanted to draw for it, as you can see, I have my OC Masaki on the front here, and for our hello page, or our starting page, intro page, whatever you want to call it, I think we're going to go with something like this. So Masaki kind of like reaching out, gesturing to the viewer, and then I kind of want a light blue and white kind of colored background, kind of similar to the blue situation here is kind of what I wanted to go with, but a lot more white to kind of bring that brightness. This is very much like a concentrated mid-tone blue. So I wanted mostly like clouds probably in the background. We'll write hello. In terms of medium, or medium. I've been kind of like debating back and forth. I think we're gonna do acrylic markers. I don't think I've done acrylic markers for any of my spreads technically. So I think because I've accumulated quite a bit of different acrylic marker or paint products, let's just start with that. This is kind of our layout. This is what the goodbye page is going to be looking like. So I wanted him to be like happy and almost like waving goodbye, but he's kind of like cheering you on as it's the goodbye page. And I want it to be more like evening or sunset or like night colors, but for this one we're sticking with that lighter, brighter theme. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started with showing you guys what the sketch looks like, which is very hard for you guys to see, so I'll zoom in so you guys get a better look. Also, before we do that, I've started the sketchbook on February 1st. I actually timed it so that it'll be on February 1st. I took like, I think, a 2-day break. Not exactly on purpose, but it kind of just worked out in that way, where most of my downtime was on January 31st. So I just waited a little bit until it's February 1st before I started to actually brainstorm. I don't think there's any good way of showing you guys, so I'll put a picture on the screen with my phone because it'll be able to capture the light blue lines on top of this kind of like manila color. So yeah, we have Masaki kind of sketched out in the same-ish way. I do like his derpier face here. I think it's just cuter. But we have his hand reaching out, and then kind of hopefully the hand receding a little bit back. I have very light indication of where I wanted the colors for the background. Okay, so like I mentioned, I don't think there's actually a good way for you guys to view this properly. So let's go ahead and just get to coloring. I'm going to be using some binder clips to keep our paper flat. And I was digging through the little color swatches that I have in this kind of sketchbook. So I think we're going to do a mixture of the Simptap acrylic markers because there's good colors in here. And I have kind of like a sharper tip, as well as the Arrtx acrylic marker set with the 60 colors, and has the liquid ink because it has much more of like a larger range of colors. Also very similar tip to the Simptap marker, so it's like a brush tip, but it's like a fairly sharp tip. So I feel like we can use this as well because it has a lot of like Masaki's colors anyways. So let's get started. Oh, also, I have a little coaster to kind of balance out my sketchbook so it can lay completely flat because it's about the same thickness of my sketchbook right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the text. I'm hoping with the coverage from these acrylic markers, those make everything pop really nicely. But I'm scared about like the actual surface because acrylic does have more of that plasticky. I guess this one might be a little bit more matte, but I didn't really think about what I wanted to use for like line art after. We might have to use the acrylic markers. I might do 2 passes with this because I know lighter colors, especially for paint mediums, I feel like they're just a bit thinner in their consistency. I'm thinking I might use like a fine liner of some sort to do our outlines later. Because Energel Clenna, I don't know how well it's going to react on top. I don't know about Ballpoint pen because it might not be as dark as I would like it to be. Acrylic marker is just because I'm nervous to sometimes use the brush tip and get really big blotchy lines rather than something nice and smart, like fine and smooth, I guess. I think in the past I've done like a very similar theme or what do I want to call it? Similar imagery, maybe? Because I have a nighttime version, I think, with my OC Akemi. Ah! No, I'll get that later. Let's grab a different binder clip. I just shot it across my desk and it fell off. I'll grab that. Cloud shapes are, I feel like, harder for me to make them look like natural enough. So we might have to do a bit of back and forth in terms of this color, white, and maybe a slightly darker blue to certain shapes and lines afterwards. Otherwise, I can't really tell at this point. So I don't want to accidentally get too much like paint or anything on the actual piece of Masaki, so we'll do any of our testing. Oops, this has a guard on it, I forgot. There we go. I feel like I can take this in terms of like buckling a little bit less and not hopefully pilling too much. You can kind of see that's a little streaky. Oh, wait. I want to see if this actually has better coverage. My friend actually bought me Posca markers for Christmas, and I saw her in like very beginning of January-ish or mid-January. Like we had like a small get together, so we did our Christmas gift exchange finally after a while. She got me Posca markers, which I haven't opened. I want to see how well the coverage for these are because every time I've seen people use them, they're very opaque. Because this is kind of like more of a fine tip. Maybe, yeah, I don't know if I'll use this one for this particular sketchbook. I feel like these work well on maybe harder surfaces or mixed media paper, because I just accidentally brought up a bit of the pilling of like the paper because I'm scrubbing back and forth, so I don't want to have that texture. I'll use these in a different video maybe. This one will just have to take definitely maybe 2 or 3 layers instead. It's very streaky right now. On camera it doesn't look too bad, but you can kind of see that some of the manila color is peeping through quite a bit. I'm still quite scared of using these acrylic markers, only because I don't know what to do if I dislike it. I feel like the only thing I can really do is either you put sticker paper across the whole entire thing and restart, or keep fussing with the acrylic markers, because like I said, acrylic markers and just acrylic paint in general kind of has more of that plasticky feeling. So some things or some materials, mediums might not adhere to it. I think I mentioned this last time. Maybe in the last page video and or the last time I did a hello and goodbye page. I meant like the hello page, I guess, in this case, the intro. Do you guys do anything special for like when you start a new sketchbook? Do you do like a intro page? Do you customize the cover of your sketchbook? Do you put I think someone said they put a quote in theirs, which I think is very cute. Do you do collages? Do you leave the intro page as your last page? I think I have a mutual who does their first page last, which I think is a very neat idea. You draw your favorite character? Do you draw, you know, your persona? Or maybe you only put like the sketchbook and then the number, which I know a lot of people do as well. In terms of songs that I've been listening to, I think I've been listening, who is this artist? Motohiro Hata. So he sang Himawari Yakusoku, which I think is like a Doraemon opening theme. It's one of my favorite songs, like Japanese songs. So I really like his voice. This one's like a new release, like a recent release, I guess, as well. It's kind of more like ballady, which I think you guys already know I really like ballad songs. I'm also thinking like I could also do like streaks across so that we can still keep the manila color. Do I have a ruler? I don't know if I like this. The other thing I could do is a grid background, which I think would look cute, but oh boy. I'm scared of ripping it. I might get some masking tape. Maybe I will do a grid background. Use this one and maybe T435. Okay, so I have strips of tape here. I'm gonna stick them on my pants really quick so I can get rid of some of the tackiness. The thing is like, a lot of these won't be the same width. I might do a bigger one at the top actually. So this way it kind of looks like it's intentionally blocking out the date to make our strips not. Unfortunately, I think my grid lines are going to be very uneven. I'm hoping this works. I know this is gonna bother somebody, I'm sorry. Well, let's color the background. So before we move on to like Masaki, which won't be for a while because I want to figure out this background a little bit more, we will then remove the tape. So I can imagine this going to be like a very big mess if it doesn't work. Might even choose one more darker color. It doesn't look as bright To you guys it does. For me it's a little bit more like darker. Then we'll do our lighter blue. I feel like this color works the best. In the background, this looks more like a green blue, which like matches Masaki, but you know, don't know if it works for a sky color per se. So I might change everything to be that one color instead. I'm gonna have to be a little bit careful with peeling. Like besides accidentally tearing the paper potentially, the other thing I have to be worried about is the fact that if you paint over tape, if you have too thick of like a layer, you might accidentally peel up your paint surface alongside with the tape together. I don't know if I like the transition. Something's telling me I should just go in with this color for every one, so that I can keep everything nice and bright. I think the darker ones will look cute for the goodbye page, because then we can have a darker kind of atmosphere. This might be like a bit of a strange way to like kind of keep the melanilla color kind of intact. So I think all of this is actually dry. I'm kind of nervous. Let's start peeling these up because I don't think I'm gonna add anything else. Lines are kind of crisp, so it's not too bad right now. They are a little bit wobbly, but from afar, like I don't think it's gonna look that bad. Right now I'm still iffy on whether or not I like what this looks like. Looks kind of cool, but I think it's because I don't see any grid patterning quite yet with the blue still running horizontally. Like I said, it kind of looks cool at this point. Which I'm always gonna, oops, put my hand in the paint apparently. Pull away from the edges whenever you're using masking tape or any sort of like adhesive thing that you need to pull on your surface, because one, at least if it does pick up your paper and you start to tear it, if you tear it towards like the thing that you're drawing, you're tearing everything into it rather than tearing it out and potentially cutting it off, which would be ideal. Okay, let's also do the top section. Pretty clean. The good thing about this acrylic marker, it doesn't give me those weird little flakes and flecks from the paint cracking. That's like one thing I didn't like when I'm working with gouache, because I put such a thick application that it cracks so much. I think it looks cute. I just had the realization I could have made it look more like a window pane and actually had like the edges of the window and stuff, which will look very cute. Oh, I forgot. The one square. Well, it's gonna bother me a bit. It's okay. I'll leave it. Okay, let's paint probably his face. I didn't really shake up any of these markers. So I have to do that first. Hopefully the blue doesn't really show up too much while I'm trying to paint in his skin. Erase any of my lines per se, because I feel like I'm gonna lose them anyways, so... like, I guess the darker color shouldn't struggle as badly. Some of these, I don't know if I can use it for line work. Yeah, but I still haven't decided on what exactly I want to do for the outlines or line art. I also didn't really talk about why I do like an intro outro page. I think it's just fun to have like a matching spread in the entire sketchbook. And I don't want to jinx myself, but if I have a okay time, hopefully painting or drawing or coloring whatever I decide to draw, which I forgot to talk about at the very beginning too, that I used to switch between drawing Wonu from 17 and Masaki. I think more recently I've been doing, I did Selwyn, I think I did Masaki last time, and then Kaisen maybe before that, and then I was like Wonu. I might do Wonu again when he gets back from the military, just because I would like to draw something more recent. If not, I could have done something like from one of his old Game Boy lives or something. Could have been cute, because he has a cute outfit. Maybe tailor it to the games he was playing. I thought Masaki would be cute, because it's like, it's been a while since I've just drawn him. And as much as I like Selwyn, Masaki still has a very special place in my heart. See when it dries, because if not, I'll use the pink. Because I want to find what color would work for the shadows for our cell shading, technically. It might be too orange. Ah, okay, so that one color I used in the background and then eventually painted over, it was actually supposed to be for the shadow color for his turtleneck. I wonder I had it out. I thought I was using it for the background, so I was a little bit confused. I'm glad a lot of companies or like manufacturers always kind of make this seafoamy color. This is my favorite. It's a little bit more green rather than blue, but I still think it's very cute. And for the most part, like any variation of this color kind of fits Masaki as long as it's paired up. Maybe like a brown color of some sort. You can tell, like, I did not think about the color palette at all. Which kind of sucks. I would have loved to actually like tailor this properly to a cute color palette. Well, at least I'm having fun working on this, so it's not like a total loss or anything. I was thinking of potentially doing it in alcohol markers instead of acrylic markers. And the reason why I didn't is because I actually liked the sketches that I did for the planning stage of this, and the alcohol markers would have just bled through and I would have lost it. I do think he's looking kind of cute right now though. I just hope I don't screw it up by doing the cell shading alongside with coloring in his eyes. And I don't know if I want to outstretch the brown to kind of like feather out his, not feather out, I want to push his apron a little bit more. I did not think about where the light source is, which is very bad in terms of if you're wanting to do cell shading, you should probably have a good semblance of where your light source is so that your shadows are nice and crisp and clean, but also very legible. I guess it's coming more from the top left. Choose a very light yellow. I can get this little highlight. I don't know if you can tell, I'm kind of avoiding the eyes to a certain degree. Because the other option is also just like map out where your highlights and your shadows are, and then put them in right away, and then fill the rest with the base color. Right now I'm kind of caring about the silhouette, so I want to quickly block everything in. See if I can get this shape correct. I feel like his hair shape just doesn't look right. Once again, I did the mistake of starting on the right hand side despite being right-handed. Because now I can't put my hand there while, you know, everything else dries. He looks so round. The crease doesn't really help. But I'm gonna try best to follow the same kind of silhouette that I initially had. kind of the same thing. Like I could plan everything out by blocking in where the shadows and our highlights are, but I'm kind of caring about the silhouette more. So I'm gonna block in with our kind of like base color, or in this case, like our mid-tone color. I have to think about it a little bit more because I want to see if I can maybe do this. Proportioning wise, it might be a little bit too short, but you know, it's okay. Other alternatives to line work, I will just use the Simptap marker, I think. Be the other alternative. If not, ballpoint pen. Using a Simptap marker because it's a little bit more sharper might be the way to go. These tips, like, they're not that bad either, so it could be an option as well. Oops, I should have waited for this to dry. I see some cracking on my acrylic paint. Because if the marker itself is very juicy, then it's easy to get like very thin lines. I'm just very nervous. I have to be careful because, like I said earlier, once we have like a little bit of paint already laid down, it kind of becomes a little bit more of that plasticky surface because it becomes much more, or less porous, I guess. Because of that, things are going to dry a little slower, so I have to be very mindful now that I'm using a much darker color and that we have colors placed where we want it to be. I don't want to accidentally be placing all of these random splotches and lines by accident. Oh, almost put my hand in it. What is wrong with me? So let me find like a dark enough red or pink so you can fill in the mouth. This one I probably will turn. Not even because this is like potentially wet. It's mostly because I want to be able to go horizontally across without my hand wobbling too much. Can't forget his little mole. So I chose more of like a blue color. The darker teal just felt too monochromatic for me. This is why I went with like more of a blue color. Do I add any shadows here? Because I didn't really plan out the sleeve too much. So I might put a little bit of reflective light underneath this arm because our shape of our shadow or the arm is a little bit funky. I should really put in the white first. I think this is the right color to use for the turtleneck shadow for his sweater. I guess like all of this would be the dark blue. We'll see if I add any other colors. I know I said I really wouldn't, so I can kind of keep it more true to cell shading, but I might change my mind. Don't do that. So putting shadow on this side, and then on this side you're going to put highlight. So this into the shadow. He looks cute. It's just whether or not I'm going to make him look so bug-eyed. Okay, I think highlights should be able to bring the rest of this together. It's like depending on how it's cinched, whether or not there's movement, this is gonna change. It looks so dark. Does that look a little too weird? I think it's okay. I definitely want to extend the brown even more, but I guess this is his hand supposed to be outstretched, or like his arm. The shadow is supposed to be of his apron versus like where his hand is kind of like outstretched. Marker's so juicy. It's like glistening. This is kind of like one of the instances it would have been smarter for me to block in where I wanted the highlights to be so that it doesn't have to cover up such dark of a color underneath. Nothing at least like a few layers won't technically fix. And I'm gonna use our kind of like mid-tone color to do the other highlights so that they're not as bright. I don't know if I want this to be more like... I feel like this will change the look of the material by putting highlights. A smidge of our bright, kind of peachy color. Might add a little bit of our pink to more like solid. You can get away with like hatching to make things look a little bit more softer technically, right? Kind of like that. Maybe a little too much, but I honestly think it looks cute. What else? I think we can move on to the next color. So I have two different colors. I think we're gonna go a little bit more yellowy green for his eyes. So that way we can always make it much more of a darker green afterwards. I do want to make them a little bit more green, so we're gonna leave it for a bit. I'll make it a bit more green with a darker color. I might change the pupil color and then we'll just go from there. He also has no eyebrows. I feel like we're uneven. I also have a very wobbly line here. I think it's cuter. Okay, let it dry. I'll come back. We'll do the eyes again. I keep saying that, but like it dries so fast. But I want to stall so badly. Because I won't put my hand in the paint. I will watch the nib so I know how much paint's going to be dispensed, and don't drop the marker. I've done that before and I got lucky every time that it never leaves such a terrible mark on the page. Okay, we'll let it dry. I'm gonna swap this mid-tone color to the bottom. We're gonna fill the rust with this green, and I'm gonna choose a darker color, maybe even like a blue or another darker green to fill the top. I should have followed like a reference for the clouds. I'm so disappointed in the clouds. I know I said I had like a pixel art cloud reference. I didn't open it up to actually look at. I should have, so that I can get more of that bellowy look instead of just looking at normal cloud references, because I think I just didn't know how I wanted to interpret them. So I don't know. But if I do that, maybe I'll make that more of like an evening sky, and then the last page or the final page or whatever will be like night? Twilight? Kind of like that dusk. Not dusk, maybe not dusk. We're a little bit too far at that point. But like much more darker colors than something very bright. Because this you could pass more like for afternoon rather than morning. A lot of things I could do to really screw this up at this point. But right now, we're leaving it. We're not gonna fuss too much. Other than adding a darker color to the top line. Because Masaki does not have blue in his eyes, technically, but I'm using it just to darken things up. And then we'll do it for kind of the edges. Last thing, we're actually going to add back in that light green just at the bottom. Because the whites I have, they work well to a certain point. I just don't know if they just don't want to adhere to the surface anymore for whatever reason. Let's do the text. In what color would work? Would it be weird to use the same blue? Should I go with like a darker blue, a lighter blue, this blue? Should I go with the teal color of Masaki's? Should I go purple? Because I'm thinking darker. Get it? It's gonna be a pain to cover up. This is the hello page. The text shouldn't be hidden, technically. Is there a wet paint? I know I added white somewhere or in several places. It's probably dry. So I don't know how to do calligraphy very well. Ooh, wobbly lines. Excuse my hand lettering here. So I'm kind of doing it backwards. I know typically, I think it's light going up, and then as you go down, it's supposed to be the thicker line. It doesn't even look like hello anymore. Oh, it's so ugly. No, it's okay. Something we can't kind of even it out with. A little bit of tweaking. I might whip out the gel pens. I feel like the white has a better coverage. And if I wasn't nervous, I could definitely use that to do the line work here, but they're a little bit too thick for my taste. These shadows here. Okay, I'm gonna let this completely dry. We'll come back, we'll do the line work with a little bit of testing, which I'll do in this book. Actually, maybe I won't leave quite yet. Let's do a little bit of testing. Do like a couple of layers of color. Yeah, I'll come back once I get the testing done, because I'm gonna have to wait for these to dry, do a few layers until I get to the same buildup as some of the areas here, and then we'll see whether or not the Ohuhu fine liners, I think, is what I want to use to do the line work. If not, we'll switch to ballpoint pen, because I'm pretty sure that will work regardless. Okay, I forgot to hit record. I should have showed you guys. I should also zoom in, because I had high hopes until I did something. So this is ballpoint pen. This is ballpoint pen. It does have like obviously a sheen or a glare, but this one does too regardless, and the paint itself has a little bit. Now my problem is that when I use, so if I use a fine liner on here, and let's say I wait, the funny thing is you can actually watch it dry and it becomes more shiny, which is kind of crazy. But even when I let it dry for a little bit, if I run my finger over it and drag it down, I don't know if you can tell, there is a little bit of smudging. So I'm waiting for it to completely dry, because maybe I have to wait a lot longer. But unfortunately, it's not ideal if I'm going to be like doing so many areas. I'm trying to show you guys, if I can show you how you can tell it looks like it's dried. So if I hold still, hopefully can you see it? I feel like you guys can't really see it that well. You can kind of watch it get shinier and shinier, and I feel like that's when it's like more embedded into the paint. But if I drag my hand, can you see how much it smudges? Not ideal. So I think we are gonna go with the ballpoint pen. So let's start off with the Pentel RSVP. I'm gonna start with the eyes. As long as I don't think I end up putting too much residue on the surface, and I'm careful about where I place my hand, we should be okay. So I also forgot to put in some sort of eyelid line. See, it does have hooded kind of eyelids like me. Masaki and Sato are the two OCs that I gave like the same eye. I was gonna say formation, but I don't know how to explain it. I don't have a double eyelid, but I don't have a monolid. My eyelid kind of like tapers from the edge of my eye and outwards, and there's like a little bit of a fold. I think I've talked about it in the past, that sometimes I wake up if I'm like super sleep deprived, or my eyes are for some reason just weird that day, the fold disappears, or I get, not the fold disappears, I get like two folds together, which pushes down like my eyelid in general, so it makes me look sleepy, and I hate it. Because I feel like eye shape does actually change quite a bit of your overall demeanor. Like I said, I'd have to be a little bit careful so I don't accidentally smudge anything, but I don't think anything will be as bad as the fine liners if I did like one swipe. Oh, my hands are shaky. Actually, I might get away with just using the Pentel RSVP. Masaki doesn't have too many dark colors that I need to make the lines stand out like a heck of a lot. But because these lines are not super dark, especially on the first pass, I do kind of scribble back and forth to make it a lot darker. So technically it doesn't matter if my hands are too shaky, as long as I don't commit to a line right away. I'm just glad this is working out. I actually think he looks super cute. But sometimes if I like my intro page, it means that I'm gonna struggle matching the same energy when I'm doing the ending page, or goodbye page in this case. I think acrylic markers was the right choice. It's kind of vibrant without too much of the hassle of potentially what I wanted to do would have been probably done with gouache. Because like I mentioned earlier, I liked my sketches on the back, so I didn't really want to use alcohol markers, even though it could give me also a very similar look. The vibrancy will be a bit different because it will be taking on some of that manila color, which could look cool. Give it a little bit more of a, not quite sepia look, but kind of. It's like a tinge of yellow over it all. I think it's because I didn't cinch it enough. It's kind of like an awkward shape. So it doesn't really look like it's receding, but you know, I think overall I like this one quite a bit. It's not too... it doesn't bother me too much, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So let me show you guys an overview and show you a sneak peek of what I've already worked on. So here's what he looks like, and here's kind of a look again to what I had. I do like this more. Oh, I didn't add petals. That's okay. We don't need them. I think it's like something I just like to add for movement. But I like the sketch of this. It's very cute. I also like my thumbnail as well. So we'll see how I will be able to tackle the last page in the sketchbook once we get there. Here's some sketches of Masaki. Olrugio from Witch Hat Atelier, because I just wanted to sketch him. Didn't like how I drew his face here, so ended up changing it. And I started sketching Selwyn. Probably gonna finish off the spread, maybe add a little bit of water-based markers to help finish it off. But yeah, I do like this one. I think it's cute. But we have a lot of pages to go through in this one compared to the one that you guys saw on Saturday. And like I mentioned, I do like counting the signatures so that I can find where the halfway point of this notebook is. Which I feel like we should be hitting soon. Did I not label it? Should I? I'm actually curious on why I can't find it. Oh, I saw it. Here it is. So this is the halfway. So I try to find where the two conjoining, I guess, signatures are here, which I think should be here. Just count. Oops, you guys can't see. So I would just count the amount of signatures, find where the halfway point is, label it, and then kind of like set it and forget it. And kind of just like set it and forget it so that once we get there, it's kind of like a surprise. And if I'm struggling, it'll be a final, not final, it'll be another like boost being like, hey, you're halfway. Like, you're closer to being done than closer to not being done. So, you know, that's a plus. But hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me work on the first page in this notebook or sketchbook. I'm excited to work in this one. I probably will be just sketching for the rest of today, if not working on commission samples. But I think that's it for today's video, and I will talk to you guys next time in the next video. Bye!